Hey, I hope all is going well and you're having a beautiful, blessed day. Um, I just had a thought. I'm watching Wicked as usual. Um, I haven't watched it all that often lately because I've been crazy in love with Smash. Um, as you guys know or might not know, Smash became a Broadway musical. Actually, on my birthday is when it premiered on Broadway. And no, I do not live in New York, so that's sad. But it became a Broadway musical on my birthday, and when I was in my 20s, I can't say in college because I graduated from college in 2009. But in 2011, it was a new show on NBC, and it was something that I was hooked on back then because of the performance value of it and what it talked about performing. And now I'm hooked on it again, not only because it is a Broadway musical, but it takes place mainly in a performance space in a studio. So that is the reason why I'm currently stuck on it. That and also the fact that it became a Broadway musical finally. But anyway, I'm getting away from what I wanted to talk about. So I'm watching Wicked, and a theme keeps coming up for me, and it is the theme of disabled people being labeled as one word. And for Nessa Rose, that word is beautiful. And for me personally in my life, that has been true. I had been labeled as one word most of my life. Um, and that word was brave. And I cannot tell you guys how frustrating it was to hear that word, even though it was meant in good nature as a compliment. But it was just so frustrating because everywhere I went, if somebody saw me doing something they thought was praiseworthy, and I'm referring to like strangers here that I would come in contact with, often either in college or just out on the street. I wasn't very independent in college. I was only independent while I was at school. But other than that, I'm living more of an independent life now. But when I was in college, I would get called brave almost every day. So that was the Nessa Rose factor of my life. The Elphaba factor of my life was that, yes, I did have to explain my medical history to strangers who thought they could ask me that as the first question upon meeting me. And this happened, if it happened often it was because it happened at the beginning of a new semester as I was getting ready to go into class. So that is why I identify with Wicked so much, and that it has been part of my disability journey. I love it so much more now than I did back in my 20s when it first came out. I was 21, by the way, so I'm really, I'm like really, really old. Those coughs weren't for effect, they were real. Um, but I'm really, really old in respect to my relationship to Wicked because it came out when I was 21 and now I'm 43. So, but with that aside, I wanted to start a conversation, if you so choose to, disability community, about what was your word and how did that affect you in your day-to-day life. Was it a compliment from the right person? Was it always a put down? Or did it always just seem weird? Maybe it wasn't a put down or a compliment, but it just seemed like, why are you choosing that? Because I know for me, like Nessa Rose, I will be completely honest and say that if the right person called me brave, I'll say nothing more than that. But if the right person called me brave, then I would accept it as a compliment and probably blush. But if it's something that I'm hearing over and over and over again, and I know that that is just something people might be coming up with, it tunes people out, because people, meaning like it tunes the person out that is hearing it, because they have heard it all their life. So that is why it is so important to get to know people at their core. Aside from their disability, yes, we are living in a time now where disability is not a bad word and disabled is not a bad word, but that is not all we are. We are so much more than our equipment. We are so much more than our diagnoses, and we should be treated as such. But I just wanted to start this conversation because it just always baffled me that my existence when I was younger was boiled down to one word. And so the one word factor, like I said, came up as I'm watching Wicked. I'm watching my favorite part right now on silent because I don't want to get copyrighted for anything. But I'm watching the Ozdust ballroom scene, and it's just even more now in the movie. It is my favorite part of the show. And I wish that Broadway and the touring companies would have their Nessa Rose characters. One, Jenna, you're doing a great job in representing us, but I wish they would give you a dance routine, just like they gave Marissa a dance routine. And two, Wicked tour companies, you guys need to jump on the opportunity and the responsibility, even more so, to hire a woman who is actually living a disabled life. Yes, I know that disabilities come in all shapes and sizes, and some disabilities are invisible. I was going to say indivisible, but I know some disabilities are invisible, but we need to see a visible disability that primarily uses a wheelchair. A woman who is visibly disabled and primarily uses a wheelchair to play this role. Because I will guarantee you, I know from experience, and I know from other creators, other friends of mine within this community that has been commenting on Wicked, that when you get to the stage door and you meet the actress that plays Nessa, it is all kinds of awkward because, one, her representation of the community that she is seeing in front of her does not feel like it was authentically played. 2, it makes us feel a little bit sad because we think that you are scared of us. And that's kind of taking the same attitude as everybody in Oz took towards Alphabet. Just because they look different and just because they deal with different things does not mean they're scary. So I would encouragingly challenge you, Wicked, to find that next actress who is authentically disabled and can say, I've been there, I've done that, and I felt that for real at their core. We are out there. We are ready to represent our community to the best of our ability. So do your work in finding us, and I guarantee you a bunch of people will show up. A bunch of women are wanting to represent their community in the best way possible and in the best light possible. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you and have a great day. Have a great evening, and I will see you soon. Bye.